What about this idea of cultivating a customer-centric culture, whether it's internal or external customers? And, this is an idea that we talk about quite a bit as well. When you're going through large-scale ERP organizational change, at the end of the day, it's about your customers. It's about your internal end users and customers, as well as your external customers. And we also talk about this idea of celebrating team members. So I guess in your experience, what are the key elements in cultivating a customer-centric culture? And how does this tie in with celebrating every team member? Does that question make sense?
No, it definitely does. I think one of the things that we're seeing with some of our clients is almost like redefining how we're understanding culture or a customer, and even this language of, ecosystem. So we for a while, we were talking about, we have a network of customers and we have internal and external, which you hit upon, but really looking at, this ecosystem. So it's outside in and inside out. So it's that, iterative exchange. Again, a lot of companies have their own customer-centric models that they work with and are able to articulate in their organization, whether that's creating a unique customer journey. That's one we hear a lot from, understanding the customer needs, knowing the experience and measuring your performance as you're connecting to your customer, and then always celebrating. And you brought up this idea of celebrating. It's kind of like, where does that celebration occur? And I'll say even in our own firm, we do weekly town halls on Thursdays. And the first part of it, we do appreciations and we're talking customer stories. I tell you what we're not doing. We're not sharing our customer stories, success stories back out to the customer either. So we might have a team member that will share that and say, oh, I got an email, we pulled off XYZ project and it was really neat and impactful for them and sharing it out. My question's always, so what have you done? Have you gone back to that customer? And are there other customers that you connect and share that success story with? And so even this idea of team, like who is the team? Because really a lot of the work that we all are in right now it's an advisory work, especially, the ERP space and even in private equity, like really that talk about a complex system. The customer relations are multi-directional. And so celebration needs to be occurring inside out, outside in, and across with that. And I don't know that we're doing a great job with some of that.
Can you put you on the spot here? Can you share an example with our listeners, perhaps of a company that has successfully kind of improved their customer-centric culture and this idea of celebrating team members and the impact that they had on the organization? Is there anything off the top of your head that you can share?
There's a couple of customers that we've had that have paid a lot of attention and are very intentional around this. But, I'll bring up one that isn't a customer or client of ours, but, they're a company that I certainly admire and I certainly track a lot is Archetype. And they have, they're based in Philly and they have a portfolio of companies that they work with. And they just have a really cool design, the way in which they have, an advisory board that oversees their portfolio of organizations that they have. They have a lot of collaboration that goes on in amongst the companies that they have within their portfolio. And they have different ways of connecting key talents, key stakeholders in and across. And so you're always seeing them celebrate, they're pretty active on LinkedIn. They're often sharing, events and activities where they're really working hard to celebrate that collaborative success within and across. So Archetype is one particular group that I'm just really impressed with what they do. Like I said, we get to know them back in 2021, spent some time with several of their team, and they're just a really cool organization.
So it sounds like, Megs, that in that case, and I think the key is just having that knowledge of these cultural attributes and their impact on organizational performance. But then, as you said, being intentional with that knowledge and then taking that and being tactical, how do you, I mean, from a tactical level, it's one thing to have the knowledge and then being intentional and deliberate about saying, hey, we understand the value of organizational culture and its impact on organizational performance. But now how do we do that? How do we get down to the brass tacks and take action and move that needle? And it sounds to me like they've been successful in that area.
Yeah, and they're really right up front. Even, when we were in conversations with them, just looking at ways we might even collaborate with them, right up front also with the cultural piece. So not only do they want companies in their portfolio, but they want companies that there's this overall cultural ecosystem within and amongst their companies. And I thought that was really cool. They themselves put that right up front, along with the business opportunity and financial opportunities.